On my 30th birthday, I woke up to silence. No texts, no calls, nothing. Then I opened Instagram and saw my entire family celebrating my sister in Paris. Right under the photos, my mother had commented, "She's the only one who ever made us proud." My name is Iris Smith. I'm 30 years old, a software engineer, and for the last decade, I've been the invisible daughter, the one who paid for everything while my younger sister Madison got all the glory. That morning, staring at those Paris photos, I realized something. I'd been funding their dream life with my own money, $180,000 over 10 years, and they didn't even know it was me. What I did next shocked everyone, including myself. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. This is the story of how I finally stopped being invisible. I should back up a little. The morning started normal enough. I made coffee, checked my phone. Habit, you know. No birthday messages from my family, but I told myself they were probably planning something. Maybe a surprise call later. Then I opened Instagram. The first photo was Madison at the airport, champagne glass raised. Caption reading, "Surprise trip to Paris, best parents ever." My mother and father were in the background beaming. The next photo, Madison in front of the Eiffel Tower. Then, Madison holding a croissant. Madison at a cafe. Madison, Madison, Madison. 47 people had liked the post. 12 comments. All variations of "so lucky" and "your family is amazing." I scrolled down to the comments section. That's when I saw it. My mother had written, "Our beautiful daughter, she's the only one who ever made us proud, worth every penny." I read it 3 times. Each time the words hit harder. The only one. Not one of our daughters. Not so proud of both our girls. The only one. I sat there on my couch, coffee getting cold in my hand, staring at my phone. My 30-year-old face reflected in the black mirror of the screen when it dimmed. I looked tired. I looked sad. I looked exactly like someone who'd just been erased from her own family. I checked the timestamp. The photos were posted 2 hours ago. They were already in Paris. Already celebrating. Already forgetting I existed. My thumb hovered over the like button out of pure muscle memory. That desperate need to show I was supportive, that I was the good daughter, that I wasn't hurt. But I didn't press it. Instead, I opened my banking app. See, there was something my family didn't know. Something I'd never told them because they'd never asked. That joint family account they'd been using for years, the one that paid for Madison's credit cards, my father's car insurance, my mother's spa days, and apparently surprise trips to Paris? Every single deposit came from me. Not some mysterious family fund. Not my father's retirement account. Not gifts from relatives. Me, my salary, my overtime, my bonuses. $180,000 over 10 years. I pulled up the account. Current balance, $47,000. The Paris trip had cost them about $8,000, charged 3 days ago to the joint account debit card. My money, my birthday, my sister's trip. I looked at the Instagram post again, at my mother's comment, at the 47 likes. Not one person had mentioned me. Not one person had asked, "Wait, isn't it Iris's birthday today?" I just sat there, staring at my phone, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel sad. I felt something else, something cold and clear. I felt done. It wasn't always like this, or maybe it was, and I just didn't want to see it. Growing up, Madison was the princess, blonde, bubbly, the kind of kid who could charm anyone. I was the smart one, which is parent code for, "We don't have to pay attention to this one because she'll figure it out herself." I remember my high school graduation. I'd earned a full scholarship to a top engineering program. My parents showed up 40 minutes late because they'd taken Madison shopping for a homecoming dress. She was a freshman. The dance was 3 months away. When they finally arrived, my mother hugged me and said, Well, of course you got a scholarship. That's what you're supposed to do. Madison failed her college entrance exams twice. My parents threw her a "you tried your best" party with a cake and balloons. When I got my first job offer with a $75,000 starting salary, my father said, "That's nice, honey. Can you pass the salt?" I kept thinking if I just worked harder, achieved more, contributed more, they'd finally see me the way they saw Madison. I'd finally get my turn to be celebrated. But here's what I learned. In families like mine, there's no turn. There's the golden child and the workhorse. Madison got the spotlight, I got the bills, and I accepted it. For 10 years, I accepted it. I kept waiting for my moment, for them to notice, for them to say thank you, for them to say they were proud of me too. It never came. That Instagram post wasn't the beginning of the problem. It was just the moment I finally stopped pretending there wasn't one. 10 years ago, my parents called me in a panic. They were 3 months behind on the mortgage. My father's business had gone under, and my mother's part-time job at a boutique wasn't enough. They were going to lose the house. I'd just graduated. I had my first real paycheck. And I loved them, despite everything. I loved them. So I said yes. We opened a joint account. Just temporary, my father promised. Until we get back on our feet. I started transferring $1,500 every month, sometimes more when emergencies came up. Madison's tuition, my mother's medical bills, my father's car repairs, the new roof, the furnace, the vacation to Florida because we need this, Iris. We're so stressed. $1,500 every single month for 10 years. Do the math. That's $180,000. They never asked where the money came from. They never checked the account statements. They just spent it. My mother would call and say, "Oh, good, there's money in the family account," like it appeared by magic. Like some benevolent force was looking out for them. That force was me, working 60-hour weeks, skipping vacations, living in a tiny apartment because I couldn't afford anything bigger after sending them their monthly payment. Madison didn't know about the account. She thought our parents were just naturally well off. She'd call me sometimes and say things like, "Mom and Dad are so generous. They just paid off my credit card again." I never corrected her. I never told anyone. I kept thinking they'd figure it out. That one day, they'd look at the account and see my name on every deposit and realize what I'd been doing. They never did. Or maybe they did, and they just didn't care. The signs were there. I just kept ignoring them. Last month, I invited my family to dinner to celebrate my promotion to senior engineer. It came with a 20% raise and a leadership role I'd worked 5 years to earn. I made reservations at a nice restaurant, sent them the details 2 weeks in advance, the day before my mother called. "Sweetie, we can't make it. Madison has a photo shoot for her Instagram. We promised we'd be there." "It's a photo shoot," I said. "I got promoted." "Well, this is important to your sister. You understand?" I understood. I always understood. 2 weeks before that, my mother called asking if I could loan them money for Madison's credit card bill, $2,800. I asked when Madison would pay it back. My mother sounded confused. "Pay it back? Iris, we're family. You don't keep score in families." Except they did keep score. They just weren't counting my points. I sent the money. I didn't get a thank you text. The pattern was always the same. They needed something. They called me. I delivered. They disappeared. Then the cycle started again. I'd started feeling it more lately. This exhaustion that lived in my bones. I'd wake up tired, go to work tired, come home tired. I stopped making plans with friends because I was always too drained. I stopped dating because what was the point? I had nothing left to give. My therapist asked me once, "What would happen if you just said no?" I told her I didn't know. The truth was, I was terrified to find out. But that morning, looking at that Instagram post, At my mother's comment, I realized something. I was already living the worst case scenario. I was invisible, and I'd been paying for the privilege. I pulled out my laptop and opened a spreadsheet. I'm an engineer. I deal in data. So I wanted to see the data of my life. Column 1. Money sent to family account. $180,000 over 10 years. Column 2. My personal savings. $23,000. Should have been over $200,000 by now. Column 3. Retirement account. Barely funded. I'd been putting in the minimum because I couldn't afford more. Column 4. Things I'd postponed. Buying a house. Going back for my MBA. Taking a real vacation. Dating seriously because I never had time or energy. The numbers didn't lie. I'd spent 10 years building their life while mine stayed on pause. But it wasn't just the money, it was the weight of it. The constant anxiety of checking my account before agreeing to dinner with friends. The guilt of buying myself anything nice. The exhaustion of being the person everyone called when they needed something. But no one called just to talk. I thought about my coworker Daniel's words from last week. We'd been having lunch, and I'd mentioned feeling burnt out. He'd looked at me and said, "Iris, you can't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm." At the time, I'd laughed it off. Now, sitting alone in my apartment on my 30th birthday, I realized I was already burning. I'd been burning for years, and no one had noticed, or if they had, they'd just enjoyed the warmth. If I didn't stop now, what would I have at 40? At 50? Would I still be the invisible daughter, the reliable ATM, the one who gave everything and got nothing? I'd been so busy being the good daughter that I'd forgotten to be a person. That needed to change. I sat in my quiet apartment, looking around at the life I'd built on whatever was left after everyone else took their share. The secondhand couch, the bedroom I used as an office because I couldn't afford a two-bedroom, the empty walls because art felt too expensive, too indulgent. This was what being the good daughter had bought me. Nothing. I pulled out my notebook, the one where I tracked every family expense, every transfer, every emergency that somehow always became my problem to solve. Page after page of dates and dollar amounts and brief notes. Mom's car repair, Dad's dental work, Madison's spring break, Madison's new laptop, Madison's rent deposit. Never my name, always theirs. I flipped to a blank page and wrote, "What do I want?" The answer came faster than I expected. I wanted my life back. I wanted to stop being afraid to spend money on myself. I wanted to wake up without that knot in my stomach wondering who'd call needing what. I wanted to matter to my family, or I wanted to stop pretending they mattered to me. I didn't want revenge. That felt too messy, too emotional. I wanted something cleaner. I wanted boundaries. I logged into the joint account and stared at the screen. According to the account agreement I'd signed 10 years ago, I had full access. I was the primary holder. My parents were authorized users. They could spend, but they couldn't make major changes without me. They'd never bothered to read the fine print. They'd never asked. I looked at the balance. $47,000. Money I'd put there. Money they'd spent without a second thought. I made a decision. A quiet one. A legal one. And I decided to wait for the perfect moment to act. 3 days later, my mother called. "Iris! Oh my God, Paris was incredible. You should have seen Madison's face when we surprised her at the airport." I said nothing. The Louvre was stunning, and the food. We ate at this little cafe near Notre Dame. Your father had escargot. Can you believe it? "Sounds nice," I said. It was. But listen, sweetie, I need a tiny favor. We went a little over budget with luggage fees and some shopping. Can you transfer $3,000 to the account? Just to cover us until next month. I took a breath. Yesterday was my birthday. Silence. Then, oh, honey, of course it was. Happy birthday. So can you do the transfer today?" "No." Another pause, longer this time. "I'm sorry, what?" I said no, Mom. "Iris." Her voice shifted, tighter. "We need that money. Your father already charged the card. Then he shouldn't have. What is wrong with you? This isn't like you. Maybe it should be. Are you seriously going to make this difficult? After everything we've done for you? I almost laughed. Everything they'd done for me. Like what? Showing up late to my graduation? Forgetting my birthday? Taking my money for a decade while celebrating my sister? I'm not transferring the money, I said. Iris Marie Smith, you are being incredibly selfish right now. Okay. Okay? That's all you have to say? I need to go, Mom. Don't you dare hang up on. I hung up. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. But I'd said it. I'd said no. For the first time in 10 years, I'd actually said no. The phone rang again immediately. My father's name on the screen. I let it ring. He called 3 more times before I finally answered. Iris, what's going on? Your mother is very upset. I'm sure she is. She said you refused to help with the Paris expenses. That's not like you. Maybe I'm tired of being like me. What does that mean? He sounded genuinely confused, which somehow made it worse. Dad, do you remember what yesterday was? Yesterday? Thursday? It was my 30th birthday. Silence. Then, oh, well, happy birthday, sweetheart. You took Madison to Paris on my birthday. That wasn't about you. The flight deals were only good for those dates. Right. It's never about me. His voice hardened. Don't be dramatic. You know your mother and I love both of you equally. Do you? Because Madison gets surprise trips to Paris, and I get phone calls asking for money. That's different. Madison needs more support. You've always been independent. You don't need us the way she does. There it was. The logic that had ruled my entire life. I was punished for being capable. Madison was rewarded for being helpless. I needed you yesterday, I said quietly. I needed you to remember. Iris, you're 30 years old. You're not a child anymore. Neither is Madison. She's 26. This isn't about Madison. This is about you being selfish. Family comes first. That's what we taught you. You taught me that I come last. That's not fair, isn't it? When's the last time you called just to ask how I was doing? Not to ask for money, just to talk. He didn't answer. That's what I thought, I said. I need some time to think. I'll call you when I'm ready. Iris, I hung up. Again. That evening, my phone buzzed. Madison. OMG, Iris! Paris was insane. You would die. The Eiffel Tower at night? Literally crying. So beautiful. 15 photos followed. Madison at every landmark. Madison with a croissant. Madison with wine. Madison with Mom and Dad, all of them laughing. Not one photo from my birthday, not one message. Another text. Mom and Dad are seriously the best parents ever. Like, I can't believe they surprised me like that. I'm so lucky. Then, you should totally save up and go someday. It's expensive, but so worth it. I stared at that message. Save up. As if I hadn't been the one funding her life for years. As if my money hadn't paid for that exact trip. I didn't respond. 5 minutes later. Hello? You there? I typed, I'm here. Okay, good, I thought you were mad or something, lol. Anyway, I'm uploading more pics later. Oh, and I got you a keychain from the Louvre gift shop. It's like $8, but it's cute. $8. She'd spent $8 on me from a trip that cost $8,000. Thanks, I typed. You're being weird. What's wrong? Nothing, just busy. You're always busy. That's literally your whole personality. Work, work, work. So boring. I looked at that word. Boring. I'd sacrificed a decade of my life, $180,000, countless opportunities, and my own happiness to support this family, and to my sister, I was boring. I have to go, I typed. Whatever, you're no fun anyway. I put my phone down and looked at my laptop, still open to the joint account page. They had no idea. None of them. They had no idea where the money came from, no idea what I'd given up, no idea who I really was. That was about to change. Before I tell you what happened next, I want to pause for a second. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, if you've ever been the one who gives everything and gets nothing back, drop a comment below. You're not alone. I thought I was the only one who felt this way, but I've learned there are so many of us. If this story is resonating with you, please hit that like button. It helps more people who need to hear this find the video. Now, let me tell you what I did next, because things were about to get very real. I pulled up the joint account transaction history and started scrolling. 10 years of data. I downloaded it all into a spreadsheet. Old habits from work. The numbers told a story my family would never admit. Every single deposit, my name, my account, my routing number. Not one deposit from my parents, not one. Every withdrawal, their expenses. Madison's credit card payments, averaging $800 a month. My father's car insurance, my mother's spa memberships, grocery deliveries, streaming services, the Paris trip, $8,247.63. I created a summary tab, total deposits, $180,000. Total from parents, $0. Total from Madison, $0. I wasn't contributing to a family fund. I was the family fund. I clicked through to the account settings, something I'd never bothered to check before. There it was in the terms. I was the primary account holder. My parents were listed as authorized users. They could spend, but I controlled everything else. I could close it, right now, legally, completely. My cursor hovered over the transfer funds button. I thought about that Instagram post, about my mother's comment, about Madison calling me boring, about my father asking what was wrong with me for saying no. I thought about 10 years of silence, 10 years of being invisible, 10 years of waiting for someone to notice, to care, to say thank you. They never would. I finally understood that. I took a screenshot of the transaction history, then another of the account agreement showing my name as primary holder. I saved them both to a folder labeled Evidence, just in case. Then I closed my laptop and made myself dinner. For the first time in weeks, I actually tasted the food. I wasn't thinking about who needed what or how much I owed or whether I'd have enough left over. I was thinking about what came next. The next day at work, I found Daniel in the break room. He looked up from his coffee and immediately frowned. "You okay? You look different." "I need advice," I said. We took our lunch break early, sitting in my car in the parking garage where no one could overhear. I told him everything. The Instagram post, the birthday, the 10 years of payments, the phone calls, Madison's texts. He listened without interrupting, which I appreciated. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. "Wait," he finally said. "They don't know you're the one funding everything? They think it's a family account, like we all contribute. But you're the only one contributing." "Yes." "Iris." He turned to face me fully. "That's not a family fund. That's your money." "I know. No. Listen to me. You've been giving them your salary for 10 years. They've been spending it without asking where it comes from. That's not family, that's exploitation." The word hit hard. Exploitation. "You have every legal right to close that account," he continued. "It's your money. Your name is on it, right? I'm the primary holder. They're just authorized users. Then you can shut it down. Today, right now. But they'll hate me." He looked at me with something like pity. "Iris, do they even like you now? Really think about it. When's the last time they treated you like you mattered?" I couldn't answer. "You're not cutting them off," he said gently. "You're cutting yourself free. There's a difference." "What if I'm making a mistake?" "The mistake was letting this go on for 10 years. Fixing it isn't wrong. It's overdue." I nodded slowly. "I should keep records, right? In case they try something?" "Absolutely. Document everything." That night, I made my decision. 2 days later, my mother created a group chat. Smith family updates. 12 people. My grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, some cousins I barely talked to. The first message appeared at 9 a.m. Mom. Everyone, I need to share something. Iris has been very difficult lately. She's refusing to help the family during a hard time. My stomach dropped. Madison? Yeah, she's been super weird. I think she's jealous about Paris, TBH. Aunt Carol. Iris, sweetie, family comes first. You know that. Uncle Tom. Your parents raised you better than this. Grandma. The oldest child should set an example. I'm disappointed. Cousin Jennifer. What happened? Mom. We asked for help with some expenses and she said no, just flat out refused, after everything we've done for her. I watched the messages pile up. 12 people, all weighing in on my character, my choices, my worth. None of them knew the full story. None of them had asked. Madison. She's always been kind of selfish, like super focused on work and never makes time for family. That one hurt. I'd given up everything for this family. Aunt Carol. Iris, please reconsider. Your parents need you. I stared at my phone. I could stay silent. Let them paint me as the villain. Let them all believe I was the problem. Or I could tell the truth. My hands shook as I typed. I've supported this family financially for 10 years. I'm taking a step back to focus on my own future. I wish you all well. Send. The chat went silent for exactly 43 seconds. Then my mother. What are you talking about? We never asked you for money. My turn. Check the joint account history. Every deposit is from me. Every single one. Madison. Wait, what joint account? I took a breath and typed. The family account. The one that's paid for everything for the last decade. Mom's spa, Dad's car, your credit cards, Madison, your rent, the Paris trip, all of it. Dad. Iris, this is not the place for this discussion. Me. You made it public. I'm just being honest. Aunt Carol. I don't understand. Linda, what is she talking about? The chat went quiet again. I could picture my mother's face, red with embarrassment, scrambling for an explanation. Mom. There's been a misunderstanding. The account is a family resource. Me. Funded entirely by me. $180,000 over 10 years. I have the transaction records if anyone wants to see them. Uncle Tom. Jesus. Cousin Jennifer. Wait, Iris has been paying for everything? Grandma. Linda, is this true? No response from my mother. Madison. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Me. I know you didn't. That's part of the problem. Dad. Everyone, please. This is a private family matter. Me. It stopped being private when Mom posted about it in a group chat with 12 people. Aunt Carol. Linda, you told me Iris was being selfish. You didn't mention she'd been supporting you for 10 years. Still no response from my mother. I typed one last message. I love you all. But I can't keep doing this. I need to take care of myself now. I hope you understand. Then I muted the chat. My phone started ringing immediately. My mother. I didn't answer. It rang again. My father. I declined. A text from Madison. Can we please talk? I turned off my phone and sat in the silence of my apartment. For the first time in years, the silence felt peaceful. I turned my phone back on an hour later. 23 missed calls, 47 text messages. Before I could read any of them, it rang. My mother. I answered. How dare you? She was screaming. Actually screaming. How dare you embarrass us like that? I told the truth. You humiliated us in front of the entire family. Carol is asking questions. Your grandmother is upset. Do you have any idea what you've done? I answered honestly when you publicly called me selfish. You are selfish. You're tearing this family apart. I've been holding it together. You just didn't notice. We raised you, we fed you, clothed you, put a roof over your head for 18 years. And I paid you back, with interest, $180,000 worth. She made a choking sound. That money it was for the family. It was my money, from my paychecks, that I earned. You can't just, we needed that money. You needed to ask. You needed to say thank you. You needed to acknowledge I existed. This is about that Instagram post, isn't it? You're jealous of your sister. I'm not jealous. I'm done. Done? What does that mean? It means I'm not your backup plan anymore. I'm not your ATM. I'm not your safety net. You're being ridiculous. You're our daughter. Then treat me like one. Silence. Then, quieter. What do you want from us? I want you to see me. I've wanted that for 30 years, but I'm not waiting anymore. So that's it? You're just going to abandon your family? No, Mom, I'm going to take care of myself. There's a difference. I hung up. This time, I blocked the number. I sat in a coffee shop the next morning, not the one near my apartment, somewhere neutral, somewhere I could think clearly. I ordered a latte, sat by the window, opened my banking app. The joint account stared back at me. Balance $47,382.19. My money, every cent of it. I thought about my mother's voice on the phone, the accusations, the anger. Not once had she said thank you. Not once had she said, we didn't know. Just defensiveness and rage that I dared to speak up. I thought about Madison's texts, about my father's guilt trips, about 10 years of being invisible. I thought about the life I could have had if I'd kept that money. The house I could have bought, the vacations I could have taken, the person I could have become if I wasn't always exhausted from carrying everyone else. I opened the transfer screen from Smith Family Joint Account to Iris Smith, personal checking amount, $47,382.19. My finger hovered over confirm. This was it. The point of no return. Once I did this, there was no pretending anymore. No going back to being the good daughter who never complained. I thought about what Daniel had said. You're not cutting them off. You're cutting yourself free. I pressed confirm. The screen loaded. Transaction processing. Please wait. Then, transfer complete. I sat there staring at my phone. The coffee shop sounds faded. The espresso machine, the conversations, the music. Everything went quiet. I'd done it. 10 years of giving ended in 30 seconds. I logged back into the joint account and selected Close Account. One more confirmation screen. One more button. Close account? This action cannot be undone. I pressed it. Account closed. I set my phone down and picked up my latte. My hand wasn't shaking. My heart wasn't racing. I felt calm, clear. I felt free. I opened Instagram, found my mother's post about Paris, the one with 47 likes, the one with her comment about Madison being the only daughter who made them proud. I tapped the comment box and typed, "Congratulations, Madison. I hope the trip was worth it. The joint account has been closed. Best of luck to the family." I read it twice. Professional. Calm. No anger. No accusations. Just facts. I pressed post. Then I closed the app and finished my coffee. My phone stayed quiet for about 3 minutes. Then it started. Notifications flooded in. Likes on my comment. Replies. Direct messages. I opened Instagram again. 8 people had liked my comment. My aunt, 2 cousins, some family friends. Someone had replied, "Wait, what account?" Another, "Iris, what's going on?" My mother had replied to my comment, "This is inappropriate. Delete this immediately." I didn't respond. I didn't delete it. I just watched. Within 10 minutes, my mother had deleted her entire post, the Paris photos, her comment about Madison, all of it, gone. But screenshots live forever. I knew someone had captured it, probably several someones. My phone rang. My father, then my mother, then Madison, then my father again. I silenced it and ordered another latte. A text from Aunt Carol. Iris, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Another from my grandmother. Call me when you can, sweetheart. One from Madison. What did you do? I put my phone face down on the table and looked out the window. People walking by, living their lives. No one knew that my entire world had just shifted. No one except me. And for once, that was enough. I found out later what happened at my parents' house. My father had tried to log into the joint account to check the balance. Account closed by primary holder. He'd called the bank. The representative confirmed. The account was closed yesterday by Iris Smith, the primary account holder. She transferred the remaining balance to her personal account and terminated all access. But we're on the account too, my father had said. You are listed as authorized users, sir, not co-owners. Ms. Smith had full authority to close it. My mother had grabbed the phone. This is a mistake. That's family money. According to our records, ma'am, all deposits to that account came from Ms. Smith's personal checking account. She was the sole contributor. They'd hung up, stared at each other. She was paying for everything? Madison had asked. She'd been there, apparently, visiting for the weekend. My mother's face had gone white. We thought it was from your father's retirement distributions. I never set up distributions to that account, my father had said. Then where did the money come from? They'd pulled up 10 years of statements, scrolled through, every deposit, external transfer from Iris M. Smith, every single one. Madison had started crying. I didn't know. Mom, I didn't know she was paying for my stuff. My mother had tried calling me, straight to voicemail. My father had tried, same thing. What do we do? Madison had asked. My parents had looked at each other. No answer. They'd built their comfortable life on my silence, on my willingness to give without asking for anything back, on the assumption that I'd always be there, always say yes, always be invisible. The foundation was gone now, and they were finally seeing what I'd known all along. Without me, everything collapsed. The messages started that evening. Mom, Iris, we need to talk. This is all a misunderstanding. Please call me. Dad. Sweetheart, don't do anything rash. Family can work through anything. Let's discuss this calmly. Madison. I seriously didn't know you were paying for everything, but you didn't have to be so dramatic about it. We could have just talked. Aunt Carol. Your mother is very upset. I think you should apologize and work this out. Uncle Tom. I know you're hurt, but family is forever. Don't burn bridges you can't rebuild. I read them all, noticed what was missing. Not one person said, I'm sorry. Not one person said, we should have noticed. Not one person said, thank you for 10 years of support. Just, let's talk. Don't be rash, you're being dramatic. Think about family. More messages came over the next few days. Mom. You're acting like a child. We didn't raise you to be vindictive. Dad. I checked with our lawyer. You can't just take family money like that. I almost laughed at that one. Family money. Still pretending it wasn't mine. Madison. Everyone's mad at me now because of you. Thanks a lot. Cousin Jennifer. Your mom says you stole from them? That can't be true, right? The narrative was shifting. I wasn't the forgotten daughter anymore. I was the villain, the thief, the ungrateful child who'd betrayed her family. I didn't correct anyone, didn't defend myself. The people who mattered, Aunt Carol, Grandma, Daniel, they knew the truth. The rest could believe whatever made them comfortable. Then, 3 days after I'd closed the account, my mother sent one final message. If you don't return that money, you're no longer our daughter. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed my response. I waited 2 hours before responding. Let her sit with that ultimatum. Let her think about what she was really saying. Then I typed. I understand. I hope you find a way forward. I'm focusing on my own life now. Take care. Her response came immediately. That's it? You're just leaving? Me. I left a long time ago. You just didn't notice. I blocked her number. Then my father's. Then I muted the family group chat. My phone felt lighter immediately. Madison sent one more text before I could decide what to do about her. I know I messed up. I know I took you for granted. Can we at least talk? I thought about it. Madison was thoughtless, not malicious. She'd been raised to expect everything and appreciate nothing. That wasn't entirely her fault. I replied, I need time. Maybe someday. Not now. Okay. I'll wait. I didn't block her, but I didn't respond either. That evening, I did something I hadn't done in years. I called my grandmother. Iris, her voice was warm. I was hoping you'd call. I'm sorry about the drama, Grandma. Don't apologize. Your mother called me. Tried to make you sound terrible. But I asked her one question. Did Iris really pay for everything? She couldn't lie to me. She admitted it. And? And I told her she should be ashamed. You're 30 years old and you've been supporting them like they're children. That's backwards. I felt tears prick my eyes. Thank you. You did the right thing, sweetheart. Sometimes love means letting people face their own consequences. We talked for an hour. About everything except my parents. When we hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Daniel had given me the name of a lawyer. Just to be safe, he'd said, in case they try something. I met with her on a Wednesday afternoon. Her office was small but professional. She was maybe 50 with kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. Tell me what happened, she said. I walked her through everything. The joint account, the 10 years of deposits, the withdrawal, the closure. She listened, taking notes. When I finished, she looked up. You were the primary account holder? Yes, I opened it. They were added as authorized users. And you have records of all your deposits? Every single one. 10 years of bank statements. She nodded. Then you're completely protected. That money was legally yours. You had every right to withdraw it and close the account. They can't sue me? They could try. They'd lose. You have documentation proving you were the sole contributor. In the eyes of the law, that was your personal money that you chose to share. You're allowed to stop sharing it. Relief flooded through me. What if they claim I owe them? Like, for raising me or something? She almost smiled. Parents have a legal obligation to support their minor children. Children have no legal obligation to support their parents. Anything you gave them was a gift. Gifts aren't legally recoverable. So I'm okay? You're more than okay. You did everything right. You documented everything. You followed legal procedures. If they come after you, you'll win easily. I left her office feeling validated in a way I hadn't expected. The law was on my side. The facts were on my side. For once, I was on my own side too. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I opened it. I want to pause here again because this part is important. If you've ever been told you're tearing the family apart just for setting boundaries, leave a comment. I see you. I hear you. You're not wrong for protecting yourself. And if you're finding value in this story, if it's helping you see your own situation more clearly, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes we need permission to put ourselves first. Now let me tell you about the fallout. Because it was bigger than I expected, and not all of it was bad. The unknown number was Madison. She'd gotten a new phone or was texting from someone else's. Iris, please, can we talk? Just us? No mom or dad? I didn't respond immediately. I needed to think. 3 days later, she sent an email. The subject line, I'm sorry. I opened it. Iris, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I know I messed up. I know I took advantage of you, even if I didn't realize I was doing it. Mom and Dad told me about the account, about how you were paying for everything. I honestly didn't know. I thought they were just being generous. I thought we were well off. I'm 26 years old and I just found out my older sister has been supporting me my entire adult life. That's humiliating. And it's wrong. I'm sorry I called you boring. I'm sorry I didn't notice you were struggling. I'm sorry I didn't ask about your birthday. I'm sorry for all of it. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I deserve forgiveness. But I want you to know I'm trying to do better. I got a full-time job. I'm paying my own bills now. I'm learning what it's like to actually be an adult. It's hard. I don't know how you did this for so long. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and I miss you, Madison. I read it 3 times. It sounded sincere, but I'd heard promises before. I waited a week before responding. Thank you for the apology. I need more time, but I appreciate you reaching out. Her reply came immediately. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. I saved the email, didn't delete it, didn't respond again. Maybe someday. Maybe not. But at least she'd tried. The extended family split down the middle. Aunt Carol called me directly. Iris, I owe you an apology. Your mother painted a very different picture. I had no idea you'd been supporting them. It's okay. You didn't know. It's not okay. I should have asked more questions before judging you. You did nothing wrong. Uncle Tom sent a text. Your parents should have appreciated you more. You were a good daughter, better than they deserved. My grandmother called weekly. We talked about everything, her garden, my job, the weather. Never about my parents unless I brought it up. She gave me space to heal. But not everyone understood. Cousin Jennifer posted on Facebook, family drama is so unnecessary. Just forgive and move on. Life's too short. Easy to say when you weren't the one being exploited. Another cousin commented on the family group chat. Iris, you should have talked to them privately first. Airing dirty laundry helps no one. I'd tried talking privately for 10 years. No one had listened. Some people sent messages trying to play mediator. Both sides have valid points. Maybe you could compromise? Compromise on what? On being invisible? On funding their lifestyle while they forgot I existed? But the people who mattered, the ones who'd actually taken time to understand, they got it. Aunt Carol invited me to dinner, just us. We talked for 3 hours. Uncle Tom sent me a check for $500 with a note. For your birthday. I'm sorry we missed it. Grandma told me she was proud of me. You're stronger than your mother ever was. The family was divided. Some thought I was right, some thought I was cruel, some didn't know what to think. I stopped caring which was which. I heard through Aunt Carol what happened next. My parents had to sell my father's second car, a Toyota Camry they'd bought 2 years ago with money from the joint account. They got $18,000 for it, which went straight to paying off Madison's credit card debt. My mother deleted her Instagram account entirely. Too many questions she couldn't answer. Too many people who'd seen my comment before she deleted the Paris post. They cut their expenses by almost half. Canceled the premium cable package. Stopped going to restaurants. Started shopping at discount grocery stores instead of Whole Foods. Madison moved back home to save on rent. Got a job at a retail store, 40 hours a week. First real job she'd ever had. My father called Aunt Carol one night asking if she could loan them money. She said no. But we're family, he'd said. So is Iris, she'd replied. And you forgot that for 10 years. They didn't call me, didn't apologize, didn't acknowledge what they'd done. They just struggled, quietly. The way I'd struggled for years while funding their comfort. I didn't feel happy about it. I'm not that person. I didn't want them to suffer, but I didn't feel guilty either. They'd made choices. They'd prioritized Madison. They'd taken my money without asking where it came from. They'd forgotten my birthday to take my sister to Paris. Now they were learning what I'd known all along. Money doesn't appear by magic. Someone has to earn it. Someone has to sacrifice for it. For 10 years, that someone had been me. Now it was their turn to figure it out. Aunt Carol told me my mother had said, I don't know how Iris did this for so long. I did it because I loved them, They did it because they had no choice. With the $47,000 from the joint account plus my own savings, I had options for the first time in a decade. I put down first and last month's rent on a one-bedroom apartment, my own place. Not the studio I'd been living in. A real apartment with a separate bedroom and a kitchen that wasn't also my living room. I registered for an online MBA program, something I'd wanted to do for 5 years but couldn't afford. $8,000 a year. I paid the first semester in full. I bought new furniture. Not expensive stuff, but new. Mine. Chosen by me. A couch that didn't sag, a desk that didn't wobble, art for the walls. I booked a vacation. Just a long weekend in Portland, but it was mine. I'd never taken a vacation that wasn't visiting family. And I did something I hadn't done in 3 years. I downloaded a dating app. Daniel noticed at work. You look different. Different how? Lighter. Like you're not carrying something heavy anymore. He was right. I'd been carrying my family for so long, I'd forgotten what it felt like to just carry myself. I went on 3 dates in 2 months. One was terrible. One was fine. One was actually good, a software engineer named Marcus who made me laugh and didn't think my family drama was weird. My family's a mess too, he'd said. I get it. We went on a second date, then a third. I wasn't sure where it would go, but for the first time in years, I had the energy to find out. I'd spent 10 years being their ATM, their safety net, their backup plan. Now I was spending my time being me. And it felt illegal. It felt selfish. It felt amazing. One evening, I sat down and wrote a letter. Not to my family, to myself. Dear 20-year-old Iris, you think if you give enough, they'll love you the way they love Madison. You think if you work hard enough, achieve enough, sacrifice enough, they'll finally see you. You're wrong. Love isn't something you earn through sacrifice. Real love is given freely, or it's not love at all. It's transaction. It's obligation. It's exploitation dressed up as family. You're going to spend 10 years trying to be enough. You're going to pour everything you have into people who never ask where it comes from. You're going to make yourself small so they can feel big. And one day, you're going to wake up on your 30th birthday and realize you were always enough. They just couldn't see it. Or wouldn't. And that's not your fault. Closing that account won't be revenge. It'll be self-respect. It'll be the moment you finally choose yourself. Some people will call you selfish. Let them. They don't know what you gave up. They don't know what it cost you to be invisible. You're going to be okay. Better than okay. You're going to build a life that's actually yours. You're going to learn what it feels like to matter, not because of what you provide, but because of who you are. It's going to hurt first. It's going to feel like loss. But what you're losing isn't love. It's the illusion of love. And that's worth losing. You're stronger than you know, braver than you think, and worthy of so much more than you've been accepting. Trust yourself. Choose yourself. Save yourself. Love, 30-year-old Iris. I folded the letter and put it in my desk drawer. I didn't need to send it anywhere. It was just for me. A reminder. I made a list. Actual boundaries. Things I needed if my family ever wanted back in my life. 1. A real apology. Not, I'm sorry you're upset. Not, I'm sorry you feel that way. A genuine acknowledgement of what they'd done and how it affected me. 2. Public acknowledgement. They'd humiliated me publicly. If they wanted reconciliation, they needed to correct the record publicly. Tell the family the truth about who funded what. 3. No financial requests. Ever. I wasn't a bank. I wasn't a backup plan. If they needed money, they could figure it out like everyone else. 4. Respect my time. No more last-minute cancellations. No more forgetting important dates. No more treating me like an afterthought. 5. Equal treatment. If they were taking Madison to Paris, they needed to include me or not tell me about it. I was done being the forgotten child. I didn't expect them to meet these boundaries. Honestly, I didn't expect them to try. But I needed them written down. I needed to know what I would and wouldn't accept. I shared the list with Daniel over lunch. "These are fair," he said. "Actually, they're more than fair. You're being generous." "You think they'll do it? Does it matter? These aren't conditions for them. They're protections for you." He was right. The boundaries weren't about punishing my family. They were about making sure I never went back to being invisible. If my parents wanted a relationship with me, they could meet me here, on equal ground, with mutual respect. If they didn't, I'd be okay. I'd already proven that to myself. I wasn't cutting them off forever. I was giving them a chance to do better. And if they didn't take it, that was their choice, not mine. So that's my story. That's how I went from being the invisible daughter to being free. If you're watching this and you feel invisible in your own family, I want you to hear this. You are not selfish for wanting to be seen. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not wrong for choosing yourself. I spent 10 years waiting for my family to notice me, waiting for them to appreciate me, waiting for my turn to matter. The day I stopped waiting was the day I started living. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone your sacrifice. You don't owe anyone access to you just because you're related. Family is supposed to be a place where you're valued, not exploited. Where you're celebrated, not forgotten. Where you can be yourself without shrinking to make room for someone else. If your family isn't that place, it's okay to step back. It's okay to protect yourself. It's okay to say, "I deserve better than this." You can't pour from an empty cup. Fill yours first. I didn't get the family I wanted, but I got the life I deserved. And honestly, that's enough. 6 months later, I'm in my own apartment. I'm halfway through my MBA. I'm dating someone who actually remembers my birthday. I have energy for friends, for hobbies, for myself. My parents haven't apologized. Madison sends an email every few weeks. I respond sometimes. We're figuring it out. But I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not hoping anymore. I'm just living. And it turns out that's the best revenge of all. Not revenge, just peace. So here's my question for you. What are you waiting for? What would your life look like if you finally chose yourself? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for listening to mine. Thank you so much for watching my story. If you made it this far, you're amazing, and I appreciate you more than you know. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. I'll be sharing more stories about boundaries, family dynamics, and choosing yourself. And let me know in the comments, Team Iris or Team Family. I'm genuinely curious what you think. No judgment either way. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's survival, it's self-respect, it's choosing to matter. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. See you in the next video.